Okay, Mick. Now, this is the bit I'm looking forward to. You had the best mentor ever. Tell us who that was.
The late, great Barney Curley. What a legend this guy is. And how I met him, it was through luck and being in the right place at the right time, which was Huntingdon Racecourse. And like I said earlier in the interview, I've got more front than Sainsbury's. And I recognised him through the TV and things like that. And I just went up to him, said hello, and it was like a grunt, like that, and things. But we got to know each other by going through me going to the racing, Barney going to the racing, and things like that. And after a while, that grew, and we would speak more at the racing and things like that. And he didn't say much, but when he said something to you, you took it in. You listened and took it in like that. And he's a hard man. But he didn't like. There was lots of people going up. Have you got a tip? Have you got a tip? He didn't like all this, and he'd grunt him away and things like that. But it was like I was a young gun, and he was the old. He was the maestro, as we all know. And like I say, just the little things he said to me stayed in here. And yeah, and it's the same. He had the same mentality as Kevin. Say little, listen a lot. That, and he also taught me a good one as well. If you can read a race before it's run, you're halfway there. You're halfway there of getting the winner. And it was just to be disciplined, just to be looking for the value and things like that. But yeah, absolutely great, Simon. That was so lucky bumping into him going racing at Huntingdon that time. Yeah.
How long did that little association go on for?
Well, it was like we met up, like I say, Huntingdon. Being based in the Midlands near Leicestershire, Northamptonshire border, I had Stratford, Warwick, Uttoxeter, Huntingdon, Leicester over the jumps, like that. And I would bump into him every now and again. It wasn't a case of swapping phone numbers and things like that, but it was like we clicked. We both, he knew that I had an enthusiasm for horse racing, and he knew that I wasn't stupid about backing in every race and things like that. So I think it worked well.
Did you? One thing you told me about never listening to stable staff, owners, and trainers. That was another gem for me.
Oh my days! I'm good friends with Simon Pearce, and I used to go down Newmarket regular on the gallops, pop down, see Simon, Lydia, and Jeff, and all that. And I can take people around Newmarket, various stables. And it's like supporting a football team. We all support a football team, rugby team, or cricket team. We all want them to win. And that's a downfall. If you're listening to stable staff and things like that, it's like you all want your horse to win. Everybody's horse is working good at home, like that. But how do you know how well the other horses are working at home, like that? So the only person I listen to, and he's very shrewd as well, is Simon. If Simon says to me anything, yeah, but like he doesn't like that. He's not like that. He's a sound guy, and yeah, he's also a fellow Spurs supporter.
So when you can't all be perfect. So when you you started making money in your 30s, was this after sort of taking on the advice from Barney and the Colonel and people, and so you spend a lot of your time at the races doing your business?
Yeah, it was literally, like I said, reading lots of books, doing your homework, just specialising, because that's all what I got told. was specialise. And I know that it's the all-weather, it's boring, it's the all-weather, but it showed me the profit, and it showed me the biggest profits backing on the all-weather. So that's what I stuck with. And like I say, that's after taking in Barney's advice, listening to Kevin. Kevin didn't say much, but when Kevin spoke, when he was in the book, just listen to him like that. And yeah.
What was the all-weather? Why did you decide to concentrate on the all-weather? Was it just a case of that you looked at your results and saw that you were getting the best profit from the all-weather? Or was it just to make it easier? Was it just to
I was
make
getting
it
the best
easier?
profit.
Yeah,
I was getting the best profit, but I was also finding the value more on the all-weather as well. Front runners, the pace, and things like that. And yeah, that was the case. I could back a 16-1 shot each way, and I would look at it. If it came into place, I would be happy, and if it won, it was a bonus. And that's the way I looked at it. And yeah, it was a case of that was where the biggest results, the biggest profits was. So why change?
Okay, and then you decided to condense it even more and concentrate on 5 furlong to a mile.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about, as we know in the business, it's all about adapting and looking for various angles and things like that. And I started going from 5 furlongs to a mile, specialising in them, because when I looked at the results again, it was a case of like, this is where I'm doing better. This is where I need to concentrate. And that's where people go wrong. I would spend hours a day, even the night before, going through the form. It made it easier because I was going through the handicaps, 5, 7, a mile, like that. And I could shortlist the racing, shortlist the horses. And then once I shortlisted them, it was a case of like, I'm looking for the value between these 2 or 3 horses, like that. And yeah, and that's, like I say, that's where.
Why do you think that 5 furlongs to a mile is the most accurate for finding winners, the best distance for finding winners?
For me, on your Weber, it was all about you. You're looking for. I was looking for the draw bias, the pace, the front runners, even I'll call them now here the stalkers, the ones what a mid division and a bit closer, like that. And I'm not, when everybody goes on about sectionals, I don't go for that, because every meeting's different and things like that. I was just looking for the pace angle of the race.
What tools do you use? So what websites, form, sort of guides, anything like that? Any sort of speed figures or any?
I was a big fan of Gigi's. To me, that was ideal. That was the perfect one. I tried race form, didn't get on with it. Racing Post, all this, and a few others out there, but Gigi's was my go-to every day. And I also used that ATR as well.
Yeah, so betting on the all-weather, are you ever sort of a bit worried about what happens if one drifts like hell? If
No,
you're not worried about that, so
no.
would you have a bit more on? If you think
definitely. If I was, I'm confident in all the selections what I do, and if I see, I'll take you back to Royal Ascot 2022. I know that's the turf, but Royal Ascot 2022, Stratton, I was on that at 10, 12 to 1, and I thought that was a value. It drifted 16 to 1, backed it again. It drifted even more, so I backed it. And that's the same as on your Weather. Stratton went on to win, and that's the same as in your Weather. If I see the value of 10 to 1, I'm thinking the bookies have like overpriced that. I will back it, and if it keeps drifting, I will back it 3 times, a maximum of 3 times.
what are you basing the value price on? Is it just instinct? You'll sort of see a price, you think that's too big, or have you got like, or is there any sort of like on GG's or whatever? Is there some sort of guide as to what would be a good price? How did you come up
It's
with it?
instinct. Instinct and what I feel, what I'm happy with, what price I'm happy with taking. Back in the UK, I was an each way punter. So I'm looking for the horse to at least make the frame. So I'm looking at backing anything 9 to 2 and bigger. I am. And then when it comes to the price, if I think 10 to 1's overpriced, yeah, I'm backing it. And then, like you say, Simon, if it's drifting, I will back it maximum of 3 times.
And what sort of level are you betting at? Or were you betting at? I know it's different where you are now, but
yeah. In the UK, I was backing 100, 150 pounds, like that. So it'd be a 75 pound each way bet, something like that. Maybe a bit more. It was all to do with my bankroll. I would always back 2.5% of my bankroll, always. So when I was on a winning streak, the bet would go up. When I was on a losing streak, the bet will decrease.
So there was enough, that was enough to make a living.
I worked it out that I needed to sustain a 10-run losing streak like that. That's how, and luckily enough, I never hit the 10. It was 6. The longest losing streak was 6, like that. So yeah, I was lucky not to hit the 10.